Kenneth Bird. My company is Crystal Edge Technology Screens. And yes, you read the title correctly. I got a cat watching myself from time to time not to fall down these rabbit holes with these fake screen paint products. I guess it's that fact that I don't like to see how people can't back their products up at the end of the day. But as I said before in the title, no time to deal with fake screen paints that can't back their products. The last couple of days, I've seen these screen paints to match house paints, tablecloths, whew, just about everything we could throw at it. None of them are backed up. They pick and choose what they want to do and their demonstrations. They cut corners in every chance they get. And then on top of that, consider the fact that their environments are freaking unreal. Like there's no one in their right mind that's going to be in an environment that dark with all that red trying to display a screen. They can't even do it in natural everyday lighting. Screens are way too small to be doing demonstrations off the same screen over and over and over and over again, repeating the same small screen. That's a comfort zone right there. When we start seeing the same projector being produced in the same video over and over again on the same screen, the same setting, the same environment, that means that's a comfort zone for that product. I mean, if that product was taken out of its comfort zone, the issue you would have is it wouldn't activate, it wouldn't act correctly. There'll be problems with it. And for these people to call themselves a professional or even calling them screen painters, designing screen paint in the field, number one, your screens are way too small. They're way, way, way too small. You have to be to display your product on a much larger scale so you can show people, even on a larger scale, your screens can still perform. There's a difference between a 100-inch screen and a 200-inch screen on display. So you have to be to show your product on a much larger scale, and there must be a ton of ambient light in the environment when the screen is being displayed. So that's another thing we see. We never see enough angle gain, which means you should be to turn your camera all the way over to the far edge, like I'm doing right now, and you should be to see the screen with no problem whatsoever. Now, I have an ultra short throw. I'm not a big fan of ultra short throws, so I like the distance throw. But if you're doing an ultra short throw, your screen needs to be bigger than 100 inches. It needs to be way bigger than 100 inches because you have to be to display that even on an ultra short throw, you can go outside the comfort max zone of most ultra short throw screens are probably somewhere in the range of 100 to 120. Some people say 150. From what I've seen from the projectors now, really technically you're only going to be to do about 100 to 120. Unless you have a certain ultra short throw projector, much like the Dell, can do 150 inch with no problem. But you're going to have to basically show that you're going to be to go outside the requirements of what a projector can do, showing that the screen is doing all the work. The projector we have sitting on the floor is a Sony. These are Sony projectors. They were not designed for home theater. This projector was designed for business use only. The biggest size the screen is going to be to do is 80 to 100 inches. My screen here is 148 inches in a fully lit environment, as you can see. If you're going to be developing screen paint, again, you're going to have to do these demonstrations in fully lit environments, especially contrast levels. I couldn't explain that enough, that you have to do demonstrations with contrast levels in fully lit environments, so that way the customer knows exactly what he's getting at the end of the day. Customer does not want to buy a screen that's gray. Be fooled to think the screen can pull a contrast level because it remains in a dark environment. And then when he gets it home and he puts it in his environment, because he's not going to have it in the same environment as the individual who's selling the screen, he's going to have it in a different environment. Unless he's being told that he has to have it in that environment. And the minute he turns those lights on, his screen is going to wash out. It's going to fade. Because that's something that was not displayed in the video demonstration. This is why every time we do demonstrations, we always go in fully lit environments because it is very easy to produce an image in a well-lit environment. In a dark environment. It's very hard to do it. And well-lit environment is very easy. Sorry, people get mixed up here. It's early in the morning, no food, and haven't had breakfast. All right, so well-lit environment, it's extremely hard. Dark environment is very easy. So this is why I'm trying to explain to you that this is why when people are displaying contrast levels, we always request for fully lit environments. Because like I said, you can't depend on the fact that your customer is going to have the same environment that you're going to have in the video. It's not going to happen. Every environment's going to change. So doing demonstrations with these dark red neon lights and crazy dark environments, small screens, projectors sitting right up on top of the screen. At the end of the day, this is an entire environment that has been rehearsed. Now, in the environment we're using right here, we have 150 inch to the ceiling. We have 148 acoustic to the wall. My projector sits out more than 2 feet 2 inches from the wall. My ceilings are around somewhere between almost close to 9 feet high. They're almost close to around 9 feet high. So my projector here is a short throw BenQ projector, price tag around 300. I'm sorry, 100. That was 300. $139. The Sony was $300. So it shows our customers at the end of the day that they don't have to spend a lot of money for an expensive projector in order to make the image look amazing. It also shows them that they can get 148 inch out of a ultra short throw projector with our technology. Our technology will allow you to do that because you don't have to worry about the screen deteriorating and basically pixels becoming distorted due to the fact that our projectors, our technology can maintain 148 to 150 inch screen with a projector that was only designed to do 80 to 100 inches. You got to read the specifications of some machines I have on there. That Sony projector is not, it's not theater. It's a work projector. These are offices, homes, hospitals, stuff like that. 80 to 100, that's the max, that projector. My screen's 148. So that's why I said when we're looking over these demonstrations, so we're in the form site, we're looking over that video. And they're like, why is the screen so small? His screen is very small. His projector is almost nearly the size of the screen. I doubt it's a 100 inch. The environment is extremely dark, especially when you're seeing outside the windows, you can see the sunlight pushing through the windows. All that red neon splashing back and forth. It's just a distorted area for demonstrations, completely distorted. Actually, at the end of the day, I can do something just like this, and they couldn't back it up. They couldn't do it. This is what you call true technology. Elite screens, ceiling and light rejection. No, not close to this. This is ceiling and light rejection technology. So there's a lot of things in his demonstration that is very disturbing. Like I said, ultra short, depending on ultra short throw projectors, even with our ultra short throw projectors here, my projector sits about 4 feet from my screen in order to accommodate the 148 inch. Projector sitting right up on top of the screen. Screens are very small. They were asking the forms like, what size is the screen? I said, I doubt it's 100. It looks somewhere between a 92 in that range. So he's using a very small screen to try to compress the pixels to get a sharper, more brighter image. And even at 2 feet 2 inches away from the screen at 3,000 lumens, the environment is crazy dark. There's no way in the world a customer is going to throw themselves or submerge themselves into that kind of environment in order to enjoy a movie or a TV show or anything whatsoever. Even the environment is undesirable. You have to have a desirable environment for the customer to buy at the end of the day. If I did this environment pitch black, all this red neon, completely dark, little small tiny screen with the projector sitting right up on top of it, how is the customer going to react to that? They don't want to be in that environment. No one wants to be in that environment at all, period. It has to be a natural environment. This is the natural lighting that came with the home. And getting back to the screen size, yes, if you call yourself selling screen paint, you are supposed to have screens bigger than 92, bigger than 100 inch. Your stuff should be displayed on massive screens because at the end of the day, you're going to have customers that are going to have screen sizes of 150. You're going to have companies that are going to want screens of 180 and 200 inches. You have to show how your product is going to react on a much larger scale. The bigger the screen, the more stress you're going to have on the pixelations, the more ambient light the screen's going to take in. The size of my screen I have here in my theater room, or second or third theater room, we gotta put names into these things. Anyway, we got the second theater room right here. You see the size of my screen? My screen is literally so big that it's about a couple of inches away from the physical ceiling. That's how big the screen is. There is no way for it to escape any form of ambient light. It's in contact with ambient light 24/7. Even when the lights are off, I have my kitchen windows push all this light through here. I have light that pushes through here. I have no curtains here, no curtains behind me. This room constantly takes ambient light all the time. And these screens can maintain, the ceiling can maintain with no problem. Ceiling up on top of the screen, 150 inches. Actually, I could go larger, but I have to get a certain projector to be able to max out the entire ceiling, which I'm looking into getting right now, a bigger projector for the ceiling. But this room alone by itself, not talking about the other room, this room by itself shows more potential for our technology, has the ability to do things that no video ever on YouTube has ever done. And trust me, I have researched it. I've looked it up, trying to find one demonstration of anyone displaying the exact same demonstration we're doing here. No certified company on the face of the planet is using our projectors and doing this in their environment, because in their environment, everything is ambient light controlled. Now, if I wanted to, I could do demonstrations alone just on this room by itself. But again, like I said, in the day, you have to switch your screens up because people don't want to see the same screen day in and day out, day in and day out. Because after a while, it starts to look like that screen becomes a crutch. The only way that product can look good is if it's in that environment only. That's why, like I said, I got good friends. I have very good friends that'll contact me and say, "Hey, Ken, you're going down a rabbit hole again. You gotta pull up a little bit. You gotta pull up. You're going down a rabbit hole, and you already beat these guys already. They don't have anything for you, and y'all don't. Y'all don't have anything for me. This one room by itself is a testimony on how amazing our technology is compared to what you guys display every day. Sitting in a dark environment with a tiny little screen and a projector pushed up on top of it, and here I am with 250-inch screens, one displayed on the ceiling. Most people are terrified of ambient light, and my screen sits on the ceiling with a light in the center of it showing outer space without fading, without washing out. So I got to go back to work because, like I said, I got good friends that'll contact me, and go, "Hey, Bird, guess what? You're doing it again. You're locking in again. You got to calm down, go in, go back to work. You proved yourself already. You know your technology is good. Why follow someone at the end of the day who can't back their work?" And they're right. That's why I came here to this room. This room by itself, I got multiple rooms through my house that show off screens. This room by itself is a testimony on how advanced our technology is. They can never duplicate this environment because I know at the end of the day, their products can't see contrast. If they're in an environment that dark, think about it. Sorry about that. If they're in an environment that dark, I mean, that environment literally was so dark. Every so once in a while, when I watch these demonstrations, I get that click, that wake up call, like, yo, you're going down the wrong path with these guys. Look at this. Why are you following this? It clicks in. And when I saw the light peeking through around those curtains, I was like, my God, his environment is literally so dark that I literally thought that it was nighttime until I looked up and I saw the curtains and I realized there was light piercing through the curtains. And then to have a lamp, why would there be a lamp in the environment? If it's well lit outside, why don't you just open up the curtains and let the light in? Why is the environment that dark? Everywhere he displayed that surface, the environment always remained pitch black dark. There's a lot of questions. People are asking, like, what's the deal with the surface? What's wrong with the surface? Because everywhere the video was displayed with the surface, the environment was pitch black dark. Darker than usual. But that's neither here nor there. It's the fact that if you have to darken an environment that much, that literally outside it's sunny, and your environment looks that dark, and he had a lamp. Did you notice there was a lamp in the environment? Because we were pointing out, like, why is there a lamp in the environment when it's daytime? If it's daytime outside, just open up the curtains and let the light in. Use natural light. But for the environment to be that dark and for there to be a lamp in that environment while that was going on, clearly shows that that product doesn't do anything at all, period. And it doesn't. At the end of the day, I'm here with 250-inch screens on display, watching my ceiling go off. So We are going to, I'm not going to test. We got the timeless gray coming in today. We're going to put all that on hold. I got things to do. I'm going to go back and finish working on my retro steam room, which I have upstairs. I have to put gold trim in today for the baseboards. I have some other projects we're working on, and we're going to start doing, I want to break it down on the black on blacks. Because black on blacks, we have to keep all that separated. Because like I said, I deal with businesses, I deal with companies, and the first thing they do ask, they bring it up. Film was one of the ones that did pop up in a conversation. And I'm glad we have film downstairs now. So that comes in handy on the next time it comes up in a conversation. So we need to break down the black on black videos where we have them one at each, one with paint, one with fabric, one with film, and so forth. This makes it easier for me because that way if a customer comes in or a company comes in and they want to use the black technology and something pops in their mind like, hey, look, what about black film? We have a video dedicated for black film. That's what I'm setting up for downstairs right now. Now, those videos all have to be done live because, like I said, we don't want anybody saying, oh, this was doctored or this was changed or whatever. No, all those are going to be done live. The black on blacks will be done live. So, yeah, I'm going back to work. I got things to do. You're lucky, and I'll tell you why. As I said before, I can reverse engineer your product very easily. Very, very easily. I can make it way better than what it is. But, as I said before, this is going down a deep rabbit hole. I'm not going to waste my time. I already showed you already yesterday on a 50 lumen projector. I can outdo your product with no problem. Make it far better than what it is. But I'm going to waste all that time going back to something I used to make 7 years back. Instead of advancing in the technology we have now, that's going backwards. That's completely going backwards to prove a point. I don't have time for that. But I already displayed, we can make your product. Not a problem. Very easy to do. But to go back to those 7 years back where I was making those gray screen pack product and that little room is just moving my company backwards. I don't make that stuff anymore. That stuff is old, it's outdated, it's not worth our time anymore. We don't deal with it. This is the new technology. This is the new now. All right, that being said, I got a demonstration due in a few minutes on the black film. I have to basically shoot that demonstration to a few individuals that are interested in the black technology and they want to see those demonstrations. So I have to do those today. So I'm doing a bunch of promo videos. If we get warm weather today, I am definitely going outside today. Definitely going outside to do some demonstrations. But yeah, that's it. There's no point. At the end of the day, like I said, I'm not going down that hole. This is the new product we made. This is the advanced version of our Cinemax we developed. That's what they look like. That's the product right there. So I'm going to give you a recap so you can see how you're lucky that sometimes, you know, I got good friends that are, because if I had continued on this, I'd wipe your product line out completely. I can do it with 2 paints. 2, that's all it takes to do it. 1 would wipe out all your light silvers. This right here will replace all your silvers, matter of fact, all your grays, all your products, all the way up to the Frankenstein. Then once we would show over that, we'd have to switch over to something else to change that. But that's not hard to do. That's not hard to change over. This is the color sheet. This is the darker version of this version right here. It maintains its contrast levels in colors, no problem. This produces a much higher level. This is your Cinemax right there. So you're lucky. I'm a very busy man. You're lucky. I'm a very, very busy man and I have things to do. And I really don't have time to go down that rabbit hole. But if I did, it would only take 2 to wipe your products out completely. That's all it would take. I have one product sitting on that table can beat every last one of your products. And I have the video showing we tested on 50 lumens. Pulled the higher white level. Color came out cleaner. There's no dirtiness to the screen. No muddiness. Nothing. Nice and perfect clean. And it took 3 elements to make it. That's it. Cheap elements to put it together. But then I'm making this up and thinking, we've done this before already. We've done this. We've done this 7 years back. I'm not going down that road. It's not worth my time. So as of today, we're going back to work, doing what we need to do. I got to work on some liquid technology, which I need to dip into that because we haven't worked with liquid technology in a while, and I need to work with that. Invisible technology, we need much bigger screens than invisible. Right now, we have the test screen at 80 inches, 235.1. We need one at 100 inch and plexiglass. We have to test out an invisible unicorn, which is, can't wait to get a hold of that one right there. As soon as we get some good weather, we'll be outside blasting that one pretty soon. And then there's some hologram technology I'm really interested in getting myself into because I want to incorporate 3D projection into that. So we have to make a cube, a physical 3D cube that's going to be coated with this stuff, and it has to hang from the ceiling. So we got some stuff we have to work on. Other than that, like I said, it's just to show the individual at the end of the day, if I wanted to, if I chose to, I could replace your product line today. Not a problem. But I got too much to do. I'm too much of a busy person. At the end of the day, why am I chasing you? Why am I even trying to, at the end of the day, I'm not really chasing at the end of the day. Why am I even trying to basically, at the end of the day, how can I say what's the word for it? Wasting my time on you when you're sitting in doing a video in an environment literally so dark that you literally had a lamp in the environment. And a few people pointed that out in the forum site. They were like, why is the environment so, why is there so much red in the environment? They even saw the curtains. I wasn't the only one that didn't see the curtains. That you was actually, it was actually daytime when you did that demonstration. Your screen's way too small. Your projector is literally almost the size of your screen. Your environment where you have your projectors that don't even look professional. It's cluttered, it's junky, it doesn't look professional at all, period. It doesn't. You see how this environment looks, how clean it is? It's clean. When a customer looks at this, what do they see? That's it, ceiling and screen. This is what they see in the environment. It's clean, plenty of light. You can see everything, all objects in the environment with no problem. Nice and clean. This is the way it's supposed to be displayed. I look at your environment, it's so dark in there, you can't see anything. I have a hard time fiddling with remote controls in dark room upstairs over top me when I do those demonstrations. I couldn't imagine what it goes through in there. I mean, it's like so dark in there, and that red. And I think the eye opener for me is I literally thought it was nighttime. That's what I thought. I thought it was nighttime until I looked up and I saw the light peeking through behind the screen where the window's at. And I'm like, wait a minute, it's daytime? And then you had a lamp in there. You had a lamp in that environment. There's no customer in their right mind is going to turn their living room into that at the end of the day. So like I said, this setup right here that I had down here is a testimony by itself on why you are not on my level. Like I said, I can sit in my chair. I hope my cat's not underneath one of these bad boys. This is what I'm scared about using my chairs. He hides under these chairs. These things are motorized. It will kill him if he's underneath here. Taco! I wonder if he's under a chair somewhere. I have to make sure. He gets older. He gets his new, there he is right there. He gets his new hiding places now. When he was younger, he didn't really care. He'd be anywhere. But now he has his new hiding places. And one of his favorite hiding places is actually in my recliner. So let me show you. And this is the last time we need to mention your name because saying your name taints my videos. It does. It taints my videos. This is what I get when I sit down in my chair in my theater room. So there's my projector right there. I'm barely sitting here at all. Actually, honestly, I hardly ever sitting here at all. This area is for display. That's it. This is all I use it for. The only screen I'm on the most is the one over there. But this is a display screen. I never really watch anything in here. And I can look up and I can see my ceiling. This is what I see from my point of view. My environment is not dark. As you can see, I don't have these little tiny screens. My projector is an older model, which means my customers can relate to this projector. This projector costs $300. That's it. It's a 720p Sony projector. That projector sitting over there on the stand is a $139 projector. If I get it cheaper than that, I see them for $100. That's a BenQ short throw. My ceilings, like I said, are near 9 feet tall. That projector can push up, hit the ceiling, display outer space with the lamp, with the ceiling light right in the center. I gotta start doing more demonstrations from this view. You see how black that screen is? If that was a gray screen, it'd have washed out. If it was on the ceiling, it would have definitely would have washed out. See that light coming down from my screen, hitting my screen? This is why I prefer to use, if I do ultra short though setups, I prefer to have it on a much bigger screen. The bigger the screen, the more light the screen's going to take in. It's going to take in a ton of light. It's like a wall. There's no way for this screen to escape any ambient light in the environment. It's being hit by everything. But when you have such a tiny little screen and a projector pushed right up on top of it, you're cutting down as much ambient light to make contact with the screen. If somebody paints that product on a much bigger screen, which we saw with the Leisure projector and the customer, how the Disney characters were all washed out, how the black levels were faded in a fully lit environment, there you go. All right, people, I got to get to work. Like I said, Jamie, it's the last time I'm going to mention you and Partey. Your products don't work. From what I've seen from your demonstrations, you'll constantly light dodge as much as you possibly can. Your environments are unrealistic, and your products at the end of the day, they match just about everything we can throw at it. It is a waste of my time. You are not on my level in any way whatsoever. You need to do a comparison. You compare that dark red planet of a room where you showed your screen off and that was literally so dark that I didn't realize that it was daytime the entire time. And you look at my 148-inch screen, acoustic, and my 150-inch screen painted to my ceiling. And as you can see, we don't do light dodging over here. I really gotta get some pictures of this. This would be fantastic for the website. Like, this would be fantastic for my Facebook fan page. That is crazy. I never get used to this stuff. I never, ever get used to it. The whole object of ambient light, people don't understand. People have taken ambient light rejection technology. We got to have a discussion on ambient light rejection technology. They've taken ambient light rejection technology and they have beat the crap out of it. It doesn't even have the worth of ambient light rejection technology. For instance, elite screens. Your ceiling light projection, that's not ceiling light projection. This is ceiling light projection technology. Because even in ceiling and light projection and the stuff I tested, the environments are still ambient light controlled. Off topic, people, off topic. Thinking about this. How do you have a screen that's supposed to be ceiling light projection when the environment itself is ambient light controlled? This is not an ambient light controlled environment. Once that light goes on, that's it. There's no way to dim it, control it, nothing. I don't have any little lights peppered out through the environment to make the screen look good. I got none of that nonsense. The lights are on, the lights are on, the lights are off, the lights are off. That's it. But when I watch these demonstrations, even with elite screens, they had these little 100-inch screens. And these projectors pushed up, they all did the same thing. I did a research yesterday. I noticed when I was watching these demonstrations, all of them had these little 100-inch screens, and they have these projectors pushed right up against them. And then they have these ambient light controlled environments, and they got a nerve to say, oh, this is ambient light rejection technology. No, it's not. It's not even anywhere clear no ambient light rejection technology. At all, period. You should be able, I have pictures where I can take the same image here and produce it outside, and it'll look exactly the same. But that is not ambient light. This is ambient light rejection technology. Come here for a minute. Doesn't have to do that with the rug that's an Oriental rug. Let's try something a little bigger. I got an Oriental rug in here, if you're forgetting. You're probably asking, what's the purpose of doing that? I'll tell you why in a few minutes. You know why I'm doing that? Because my environment is so well lit, I can see where that landed at. That environment that was displayed, if you threw something in the middle of the floor, you wouldn't see it. We literally have to turn your lights on in order to figure out exactly where you dropped it at. If you can't sit in your environment and read a book or drop something on the ground and pick it up, your environment's too dark. I can actually see the individual prints on my rug, as you can see this with no problem. This is what you should be to see. We got to have a discussion on true ambient light technology. Because like I said, a fellow I was talking to over at Projector Central, we talked about that. That the fact that a lot of these big companies out here, the little ones do it either way, but the big companies, they take ambient light rejection technology for granted. They put a little bit of light in the environment. All this can be dark. All this can be dark. The corners can be dark. As long as they have some little bit of lighting here and they got a little bit of lighting there, they consider, look, it's ambient light rejection technology. That's not ambient light rejection technology. I never see them doing enough angle gains either. At 148, I can turn all the way to the side and I can see my screen. You know, these screens pick up at 190 viewing angle at the massive size that they are. These screens pick up outside. Let me show you something more impressive before I go, because I gotta get to work in a few minutes. Watch this. Me tapping my ceiling? Yeah. That's how insane the ambient light rejection technology is on a Phantom painted to a ceiling. Means I can take my phone and I can put it up there just like that, and you can see the stars bouncing into the phone with a ceiling light right there in the center of my screen. So at the end of the day, no, Jamie does not own or possess a Phantom. Impossible. That screen came out that dark, it wouldn't be to do that at the end of the day. And as you can see, this is a person that I don't know why I'm even wasting my time on. Does fake demonstrations, unrealistic environments, products don't even work, can't back. I mean, the test demonstrations that he's instructed to do at the end of the day, cut corners every possible way you can possibly think of. And it is what it is. Again, I'll explain something to Jamie and both of y'all. You are not on my level in any way whatsoever. If you feel that you are, design this room and do the same demonstration in gray and show that you can do exactly what I'm doing right now. I'll give you a week. And after that, we got things to do. All right. The new stuff will be here today. I may. I'm not sure. I'm still want to find out myself if this stuff will match his paint. I still want to know. I paid for it. I may. If I take time out in the day, but I still have to do these promo demonstrations for that black versus black on the technology. And I may be doing some more demonstrations like this because I like doing this. This is pretty cool. It looks like the sun going off. Doesn't look like the sun is going off in outer space. My light right there is going off. That is pretty cool. I got to do more demonstrations like that. I got to look at some camera. I never saw my screen from that point of view. That is freaking cool. Hold on for a minute. I'm going to have to check that out. That'd be a cool way of recording the ceiling. I'm trying to figure out a way to record the ceiling for these demonstrations. All right, I got to go. I got to get back to work. Thank you for your time. Other than that, the two other individuals, yeah. Until you back up all those tests, and that's a ton of tests you're going to have to do, paint and so forth. From time to time, I will basically, if we get something that pops up here we're going to be using, we will put it up against the product, but we're not going to go on and on and on with it. No, we're not going to go on with it. But I still have to see what that timeless gray. I'm curious about that timeless gray. We already put that product against our product. It doesn't do anything, but that timeless gray I'm really interested in. Other than that, I got to get back to doing these videos. Again, like I said, seeing y'all demonstrations, a cookie cutter screen tucked up under the fireplace, that nonsense, your paint over splashing the screen and matching your theater room. That's partake, that crazy nonsense. The nonsense on the delivery system and water and you can't paint a screen or you'll jam the motor, dumb nonsense, the multiple screen applications, waiting for the screen to dry between 2 and 3 minutes, not categorizing what size screen could dry in 2 to 3 minutes. Is it a 100 inch? Is it 150 inch? There's so much stuff. And even in your own demonstration, not to exclude you out, you even messed up on your own demonstration. You forgot steps in your own demonstrations. The way your product is made, if you have to lay it flat, you can never paint a wall. How are you going to paint a wall if the product designs to be laid flat? It's just all kinds of just jibber jabber and outlandish nonsense in the day. And yeah, I made a statement in a video one time, and I just had to think about it. You know what I mean? When you follow a fool, you become a fool. That's what happens. And that's why I had to back up a little bit. Like, why am I even trying to they're not doing anything. They don't even do the challenges. We can go downstairs and we can throw black products all over our screens from sun up to sundown, and they won't do one of them. They have to wait months on end to do a demonstration to figure out how to get around it. Because if someone's going to tell me to do something, I'm going to do it right there on the spot. I'm not going to wait months on end to do the demonstration. What for? You have to act while the time is now. When that person asks you, you wait all that time to do the demonstration. It's a waste of my time. And then just seeing that demonstration in that room with all that red light, how dark it was, and just to see that light peeking through and realizing it was in the daytime when he did the demonstration, that man literally went through the effort to black out that environment that dark, and then had a nerve to have a red lamp in the environment in all that blackness. Trying to show off a gray tablecloth that was supposed to have beat one of our screens, and yet we could go downstairs and do it in a fully lit environment, all the tablecloths against black screens without a problem. Oh yeah, they saw the demonstration too on the forum site. It was hilarious. They were in there having a ball. They were like, man, you do stuff, boy. I tell you, you don't do it normally. We don't do it normally. We never do. We go over and beyond anytime we do something. You're supposed to. It outs him as a liar at the end of the day, because, again, how is a gray screen going to turn our product dark when a black one can't do it? That's why I said there's something mentally wrong with this individual, because you're sitting there watching me having this conversation with you live. You're watching these two massive screens fire up in this room. You're watching my ceiling light fire off, and you're seeing all this crystal clear with no problem. But yet, for some reason, and we call it his Bermuda Triangle. In his Bermuda Triangle zone, nothing works. And that's why I'm going to post at the bottom a very important video. There's a fellow who talks about Jamie. And what he says about Jamie is crystal clear. And he says it's honest can be. That anytime something ends up in his environment, it doesn't work. So unless I have magic, unless I have the ability to be able to manipulate your mind as you're watching this right now to make you believe that you're seeing something that you're not. And if I had that capability, why would I be here doing this with that kind of power to begin with? And just enslave the earth. I'm joking, I wouldn't do that. But anyway, so something's wrong there. For some reason, things only fail and just don't work in his environment. So I'm going to put a fellow below. This is a fellow who basically was very upset with Jamie when he did a demonstration against a screen called, I always call them Lux, L-U-X. That's what I call them. But he basically did this review and whatever he did against Jamie, and yeah, he calls him the deceitful liar, and it's a person not to be trusted at the end of the day. But like I said, I don't get this individual. But anyway, we got things to do because we don't have time to do all of this. We got things to do today. I have to do demonstrations on that screen, and I have a new lamp coming in for the Chrissy 505. We got a lamp swap out day coming out pretty soon. With my ink pen. And I have a demonstration to do downstairs. So right now we're going to be doing one on black film. Oh, let me show you from this point of view. I didn't show you from this point of view. This is pretty cool. When I come in from the kitchen, this is the first thing I see when I walk in. I love seeing that. That's a beautiful screen. Black from corner to corner. That's how it's supposed to be, from corner to corner. All right. We got to watch this. It's too desperately. Lights on sensors. Okay, there we go. So this is where we're going to be at today. told you, I don't like to be in the same environment over and over again. It drives me crazy. That's why this is why if you're selling screen paint, you're supposed to have multiple screens throughout the environment showing your screens on different levels. That's what you're supposed to do. To do the same screen over and over and over and same projector over and over again, you have to switch it up. So this right here is film. I didn't realize this. We had film in the house. So that stuff I wrap my stuff with, I went to look it up, is actually film. It's designed that when you hit it, it actually shrinks to the surface. But this is what they use sometimes for doing high-end projection screens and so forth to get that. I had a few people ask me if they can use this as a substitute instead of our black product. Had it upstairs the entire time. Didn't realize we could have wrapped it around some cardboard and placed it against the screen and did some demonstrations off of it. So this is what we're going to be doing. So all the black surfaces you see right there, we got some more of them coming in. We're going to black paint everything. We're going to separate these videos because usually the ones I have everything on top of it at the same time. For the website, we need to category it. So we need to have one's on black films, one's on black fabric, black paint, stuff like that. So we can have it on display. So when you come into the website, you can see the categories. We have one on strictly gaming. We have one on strictly dedicated screens. We have one on screens where you can actually do outside the box stuff like project off the floor, project off the ceiling, stuff like that. 235.1 settings, which we're doing upstairs. We have to finish that room. That room has to be all done in bone white for that demonstration. One of the demonstrations I'm not going to get a chance to do today because Mr. Sun's popping up. We need to do the dedicated theater rooms where basically we have the projector come up. We show the white light splashing all over the place. I really would like to get that room painted before we do that one because I want that room to look right. I want it to look professional. But for right now, this is what we're going to be doing today. So for those who don't know what that is, again, that is black film. So that's black film laying against our screen. One of the things too, which I find interesting too, is that phantoms are black, but they're a different shade of black. Now, some people think black is black. No, it's not really black. It's not black. Black comes in different shades. You can go to Home Depot or Lowe's, if you think I'm joking, and say, hey, look, let me get a gallon of black paint. And they're going to ask you what shade. Comes in different shades. But the phantoms were engineered, which means we actually developed the shade for that particular product. You can go to Home Depot and get a duplicate of it. It ain't going to do the same thing. It's not. And we'll get a duplicate of our own product and put it right on camera. I love doing this stuff at the end of the day. Like I said, you're supposed to do this. As a matter of fact, no, that's going down the rabbit hole again because we know they're not going to do it. It's no point because they're not going to do it. I just thought about it, just popped in my head. Like we should have a challenge to take the screens down at Home Depot and have a color duplicated and see if they can basically match the original ones at the house. But they're not going to do that. There's no way in the world. If they're not going to go on camera and make a simple black and white product to a video that belongs to that individual, they're not going to do that at the end of the day. So that would be a complete waste of time altogether. They're not going to do it. We'll do it, but they won't do it. All right. With that being said, let me move on. We got things to do, people. I'll be back on later on to get myself a bowl of syrup, which I need desperately. And I have to do demonstrations on this one. We're going to be doing 4 demonstrations. It's going to be short and sweet. We have to do it on color and contrast. We're not much contrast. We're doing on color, and we have to do it on white levels. Because as I said before, any black surface at the end of the day is going to be to produce a contrast level. The hardest thing for a black surface to produce is white. And white is the most important thing when it comes to a black screen because that controls color at the end of the day. Yep. Red screen. Can't remember which one of these needed batteries. I think it was this one or the other one. I'm not sure. See, there's a lot of things about black technology at the end of the day that some people don't understand. Black technology requires white light. It's a must. Some people think it doesn't. It requires this. If you make the screen black enough, the white light is no. If you don't have that screen, can't see white light. It can't see color at the end of the day. I mean, anything that hits it, it's going to come up with that reaction right there. So that's how we know at the end of the day what's what, if you know what I mean. Does the same thing to black paint, does the same thing to black chalk paint and spray paint, stuff we tested down through the line, so we know how it's going to react. Because it can't read white light. Blue screen. Nothing's going to come up. And they're just going to run right to them commercials, boy, are they? There we go. Now, see what I mean when I said that they're not on our level? Not only can Mr. Bird walk into a room fully lit, massive screen on the ceiling, massive giant screen on the wall, using cheap projectors for the environment, no dark areas, no red light. Sorry about that. I can come downstairs to my test facility, show you the exact same screen paint that's up on the ceiling right now, right next to black film, and show you the difference between the two. Back it right up from the door. This is what you need to see in demonstrations. All right, gotta go. Thank you all, and God bless.